Hello everyone, welcome back. I want to show you guys my new P80 Ghost gun. Okay, I made this gun myself. I'm ecstatic about it. I built this myself and I want you guys to do the same. Let's take a couple of shots with this thing. I got a Swamp Fox King Slayer red dot on it. Nice. Gun's working good. Now, a lot of people will tell you when you make these P80s, right? There's going to be a debugging process, okay? I didn't have much of a problem, but you can have a problem with this. First of all, let's talk about what the gun is. I went to Midway's website, and basically you buy the plastic frame. Okay, buy the plastic frame. It's 80% finished, and they give you a jig where they tell you where to drill the holes, right? And they actually give you the drill bits to drill those holes. I'm not going to go too deep into how to actually do this because there's tons of videos out there, but I'm going to kind of set you guys in the right direction and throw out a couple of tips. Now, first you want to drill the holes, right? And the reason is because you want to drill the holes before you start, before you get rid of these pieces over here. These pieces here need to be removed. The easiest way to get rid of these pieces is you get yourself a pair of these snips, right? Now they're not going to be sharp enough. What I did is I used a grinder to grind them down to like a knife edge. And then what you do is you basically just put it here, and you cut it there a little bit, cut it there a little bit, and then you just go back and forth, and you just cut it off, and then it'll easily fall off. You do the same thing, right? It doesn't even need to be in the jig when you do that. You'll line up with the frame, and then after you do that, you just take a file and you just file it down to make it nice and smooth. Okay. The next thing you're gonna want to do is basically install the rails with this jig and lower. They give you the rails to install. Let me take this one apart. Okay, so now here's the interesting thing about this. Even though this is a Glock Gen 3 clone, as far as the internals, the frame is actually more of a 1911. So it's got a 1911 angle grip, right, with Glock internals. So even if you've got like whatever 10, 20 Glocks, you may want to have this hybrid, because I kind of consider this, as far as it's almost like a 1911 Glock hybrid, just because of this angle here. So you get, they give you a rail, right, your front rail, and then you get your rear rail over here. The biggest problem that you're going to have is getting these rails to kind of match up, and there's a bunch of other videos on the internet about matching up your rails. So if you have a problem, because what you want to do, once you insert your rails, right, you want to take your slide without having installed anything. You should be able to just kind of like run the slide through. Right, you should be able to run your slide like this without even installing the rails. You should be able to kind of run it along the top just to make sure it's smooth. And then what you do is once you install the rails, you want to have a smooth action like that without having installed anything else. And it may not be, because I had a little bit of a problem. One of the things that you will find is that once you insert the trigger group, that actually pushes out a little bit on the rails, right? And it kind of pushes them into place. I still had to I had to polish it. By polish, I mean just grind this a little bit just to kind of smooth it out. So that is an issue that you can have, but you can kind of figure out if that's going to work without even having to take the gun to the range. You can basically, you'll be able to put the rails in, work the slide back and forth, and know if it's going to, how smooth it's going to be. Like I said, I did have a problem until I actually inserted the trigger group. I wasn't sure if it was going to work or how smooth it was going to be. Once I got everything in place, the trigger group kind of pressed on the sides of this side rails here, and it opened it up. Now I've seen other people that before they even put the trigger group in there, they had a real smooth action. It's not how it worked out for me. But anyway, like I said, there's tons of videos on doing this. So first you want to basically, finish the lower. You're gonna have to Dremel out the section over here because this little piece here is going to be filled in. Dremel that out good, right? So that because you don't want your recoil spring catching on anything. So you want that. You want to go all the way to the edge with that. Want to be able to run your finger in there. Once you put your trigger group in, then what you'll do is you put your slide together and get the one with the red dot cut out because it's really awesome, and get the suppressor height sights. And you're gonna have a lot of fun shooting this gun. Okay, so let's talk about what you're gonna need to get. Okay, you gotta get the P80 lower. Okay, and hold on to the jig that comes with it. Okay, because here's the thing. This, once you complete it, is not transferable. Okay, you can't sell it to anybody. Basically, you have to keep it. You can't even give it to your kids, right? So you can't even transfer it to your children, technically. But you would be able to give your kids this unfinished lower, right? Because this is just a hunk of plastic, right? I haven't finished this, so this is just a hunk of plastic. So in the future, right, basically I can actually give this to my infant child, right, unfinished with all the parts, and I'm giving him to him now, and when he gets old enough, he can finish it himself. So I'd be transferring it to him as an unfinished gun, as just gun parts, and then at some point in the future when he's an adult, he would be able to finish it. So that's a good way to transfer this to your kids without, don't complete it. You can't complete it and transfer it. It has to be uncompleted and transferred. So that's why I tell you to hold on to these pieces here, because these are kind of evidence in the future that your kids completed it rather than you. Okay. So as far as the parts you need to get this. You need to get the grip, right? Get the jig. Basically, it comes with it. This costs $175 at Midway. It used to cost $75. No, $145. This costs $145 now during, coronavirus right season. Last year, I think it cost something like $75, but still, it's still well worth it. So get that. The next thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need a slide. All right. Then you're gonna need a lower parts kit and a slide parts kit. You want to get this stuff anyway because you want to have the spare parts. So okay, so you're gonna get a slide parts kit. Okay, and obviously like this for the Glock 17. Okay, because if you're building a 19, like over here, I have parts for a 19. Okay, I think. So I got the grip from Midway USA, and the slide parts kit I got from AIM Surplus, and you're also gonna get, where is it? There you go. You're gonna get a lower parts kit. This is gonna contain your trigger group, your bolt catch. Or your slide catch rather, and it's also going to contain the takedown lever and the spring for that. Okay, but it's nice if you can find it as a kit that has all the parts. So that's how you're going to usually find it. You're going to find it as a lower parts kit and a slide parts kit, and that's a hell of a lot easier than trying to find all these little individual components by themselves. Okay, next thing you're going to need is a barrel. I got one over here. I got another barrel here. This one has a threaded barrel and it has a muzzle brake on it. And the other thing you're gonna need in the barrel, you're gonna probably need some recoil springs. Although I think the kits come with a recoil spring, but you want to get some extra recoil springs. They're pretty cheap. And the other thing you're gonna need sights. Okay. Now, if you're getting the red dot cutout, you gotta get suppressor height sights. And what I did is I got them blank. Okay, so as you can see, there's no color back here. So the only purpose of these sights is for me when I come out, it's kind of like a point of reference. Okay, so in case, like, let's say I come up in some weird angle, like let's say I come out one-handed, because that's the true test of how good the red dot on the pistol is. You gotta be able to come out and find it one-handed. So as I come out now, okay, my position isn't good enough, right? But I can match up my sights, and then presto, there it is. There's my my circle dot. This actually has a this is the Swamp Fox Kingslayer. I got it really cheap. I think the slide plus that was $275. So basically, the slide is usually about whatever $200. So I paid about $75 for this pistol dot, pistol-mounted red dot. I think the better one is the Holosun with the 507 507C or 507. This is the 507C, and then they also have the 507C GR with the green one. This one over here is green on this one. But yeah, you're probably going to want to get the Holosun. That's a better one. You have a choice with that circle dot, circle plus dot, or dot only. This one is circle plus dot, and you need those iron sights, because without that, and I've tried this on other people's guns that don't have the suppressor height sights, you cannot come out one-handed and find your circle dot or your dot or whatever you got on here quickly. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the sights, I'm lining up my sights the way I've always done, and that is a point of reference for finding my my circle dot. So that's kind of like an important thing, okay? And you're going to want to practice this, because that's the real test. Can you do it one-handed? Because if you're doing it two-handed, yeah, you're always coming out in a perfect isosceles triangle. Sure, I mean, it's a lot easier to find it that way. But what if you're in an awkward position, right? So let's say you're completely off balance. Somebody's, whatever. You're in an awkward position on top of a ladder, on top of a roof, top of a train, whatever, some weird position. You want to be able to come out and still find it. And in order to do that, you need those iron sights to match up. Now, you don't want to get like glow-in-the-dark sights, or night sights, because then there's just too much stuff going on, and then it's just like it's overwhelming you. It's just too busy. So just plain blank sights. So I just wanted to share this with you. I'm ecstatic about this gun. I want to see as many of these guns in circulation as possible, millions upon millions upon millions, because this is the gun control killer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. If you're not a member of the channel, please subscribe. See you soon.